Welcome to the Mary Mac Show, where we will be talking about your feelings, experiences, and pain following the death of a loved one. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you find yourself in this entire world, I welcome you. How are you doing today, my friend, my warrior? I certainly hope you are well and safe. Today, I'd like to speak with you about preparing yourself for the upcoming holidays after the death of a loved one. Grieving is a difficult time in life. It is the most stressful of all life experiences and life's challenges, especially if you have experienced a spouse, child, or a parent's death. Not that all losses aren't traumatic, don't get me wrong, but some can definitely affect us more than others based upon the relationship you had with your special someone and their manner and age of death. So I wanted to talk to you today about how to prepare yourself for these year-end holidays, which can be quite painful, especially if it's the first year you're going through them. In years past, you would go through the motions of baking what you wanted to, and decorating as you wanted to, and pulling down all the boxes of Christmas decorations, and never thinking twice about how you were going to prepare for these days. Since you had done it so methodically each year, you just assumed that you would do it again the same way this year. But this year is completely different. You've experienced the death of a significant person this year, and you're really not sure how you're supposed to go about the days leading up to holidays this year. Nothing seems the same. You don't really want to do much of anything. You have a significant lack of energy, and that's to be expected. Sure, a lot of other people are expecting you to simply act just the same way you did in previous years. But we both know that that's not going to be possible. And even though you really want to put on the mask that you wear a great deal of the time now to get through this difficult number of weeks, you know that to be true to yourself this year, that's just not going to be possible. And how can it be your loved one is no longer with you? Your entire life has been turned upside down. So you've asked yourself, exactly what am I supposed to be doing this year? It definitely won't be the same as in past years. It won't be anything like past years. You may have gotten through other holidays during this past year and you knew how difficult they were. But when you come to Christmas and Hanukkah and the other holidays that we celebrate at the end of the year, including New Year's, this is a completely different situation. Perhaps some of those were your loved one's favorite holidays, especially if you've buried a child. Some of the toughest times of the year after you've experienced a loved one's death is from mid-November through the end of the year. And I remember very clearly that when I was in my deepest grief, I wanted to skip it completely, and I wondered if it wouldn't just be easier. But that wasn't going to be possible because Angela's brothers expected presents, and they deserved them. They deserved Christmas, and they deserved it all because they were still here, and they wanted us to know that they were still here and to not forget about them. Well, we might want to crawl up in a ball and hide from the world. Unfortunately, that isn't always possible. So, as part of preparing for the season and what it entails, is actually deciding what you want to be involved with and what you don't. It is important to learn what can happen during this time so you are not so shocked. Last year, when you went Christmas shopping for those little dresses for your daughter, you didn't have a problem whatsoever. Actually, it was a lot of fun to purchase those things and to imagine how she would look in them. But now, tragically, she is gone. And when you try to walk in one of those stores during Christmas time, you will be confronted with holiday music and all the decorations, and you just can't handle the sadness that comes over you when you realize there is no one to buy those beautiful dresses for anymore. There is no one to decorate the tree for. There may be no one to put all those beautifully wrapped presents under the tree for, because she won't be there to open them on Christmas morning like she was last year. And if you have other children, it may tug at your heart to have to do that. But it's important that they have love and affection and attention from you, and the presents from you, and the dinner from you, and the tree from you, because they're still with you, and you must remember that. As a family, you can grieve together, visit the cemetery together, put their picture out on the mantle or at dinner together, and remember them during the holidays. When deciding on trees, maybe even a small one to go on its separate table with their framed photo for all the members of the family to put a small ornament or note on the tree just for them. There is no need to act like everything is just fine because we all know that it isn't, and the children know that it isn't. They need to talk about their brother or sister. They need to talk about their parent if you've lost a spouse. And they need to talk about their grandparents who they probably miss very much. Don't stifle them from discussing the person whom they loved. Encourage them to write cards and to draw pictures for them, which you can hang on the trees or bring to the cemeteries. There is no doubt that the holidays will be different for you this year, but you must remember to take care of your mental health. Do what you know you are capable of doing, and no more. Do not be guilted into creating a holiday season similar to those in the past. You may not have the emotional and physical strength to do this. So it is imperative that you sit down and think about all the things that you've done in the past and which ones of those you are interested in doing this year. Don't feel guilty that you are paring down your activities. You can only do so much right now. Look at everything that you've done in the past and see if there's anything you can give away to someone else to do. If you decide to have dinner in your home, you might like to recruit someone to set the table for you and decorate your home. Where you might have baked many pies and cakes that everyone loved, perhaps you can assign that chore to another member of the family. You can also have a regular place setting for the loved one who isn't there right now. You might invite guests to bring cards to dinner, written especially for your loved one. Place them near his or her plate, and during or after dinner, it would be nice to read them aloud so everyone can enjoy the stories and love that they shared from your guests. Remember to welcome the young ones to draw pictures because they might not be able to fully express themselves, but they can draw out their feelings. Or you might forego dinner altogether and accept someone else's invitation to join them at their home. Some people will invite you to all the familiar parties, yet others, knowing what you have endured this year, might be cautious to send regular invitations, and so it becomes a walking on eggshells moment. They're really not sure how to handle things, and often it leaves everyone uneasy. If the regular invitation comes, answer it either way. If you'd like to go, do so. If you're not sure, tell the host you would love to attend, but you're afraid you'd wake up that day and not have the strength. So if she's okay with you backing out at the last minute, you'd love to reply yes. Also tell him or her to please not be upset should you arrive and realize the festivities are just too overwhelming for you and you might need to leave early. You're just trying to protect your soft heart right now, and you hope the host will understand. For those of the Jewish faith, lighting the candles in the menorah on the first night of Hanukkah and all the evenings during Hanukkah is a tradition that many enjoy. But there's no doubt that it could bring back a whole host of wonderful memories that unfortunately bring you some sadness because the person you loved is not there to light the candles with you and enjoy the traditional meal either. For those in the Christian faith, gathering together on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and sharing presents under the decorated tree and wonderful meals and desserts brings back lovely memories with those in our family who we celebrated with over the years. And when someone is missing, the first years without them at holiday time just seem to be so overwhelming. And yes, you will feel so sad. And depending on how they died, you may still feel extremely angry. And you may still be in shock and can't believe that this is even happening to you. You just want to wake up from this nightmare. There will be times during this festive season that you shake your head and wonder how you got in this position. Only a short time ago, they were there, right there, sitting next to you at dinner each night. They were visiting you and you were enjoying the time together. They were such a big part of your life, and now they're gone. All those feelings are natural and normal. And as we move into the holidays at the end of this year, and no matter how much we wish these holidays would never come by, we will get through these times. It doesn't mean that it will all be pretty. Sometimes it will be downright ugly. Sometimes nothing seems to be flowing properly as in years past, and you just want to scream. And I want you to know that that's to be expected. You are different now. Your world is different now. All the people in your world are grieving along with you. And everyone is grieving differently, and you are grieving in your own timeline, and they're grieving in theirs. And sometimes that doesn't merge well. So forgive those around you who aren't further along in their grief as you might be, or those who expect you to be further along in your grief at the same pace that they are. Life has dealt all of you a great blow. Try to be extra kind to each other at this time of year. Do your best to communicate with each other as to what your needs are and ask them for what their needs might be and try to come to a compromise. Some may want all the decorations as in the past. Some may want a pared down version of what you used to do. Some may want to go to church or synagogue or other religious services in your faith. Some may forego all types of religious activities because they're still angry at God, and that's perfectly okay. It takes a long time to settle the relationship you have with God after someone you love has died. So please don't badger other people on this issue. They need time to think through the process and realize how they feel about the relationship they have with him and what he did or didn't do regarding the death of your loved one. This is perfectly natural. So, my very best wish for you during this season is to seriously consider what you are capable of doing during this time and to make your plans known so there are no surprises to affect you as you move through the season. Not everyone will be pleased with what you've decided, but that's okay. All you need state is that this is what you're capable of right now. Maybe next year you can include more activities, more baking, more dinners, more parties. But for right now, this is where you are. Invite them to take over some of these activities if they so choose, especially if this is so important to them. But for right now, you've decided what your limitations are, and that's important. It is imperative that you be at peace with yourself during this time. It may be a difficult journey for a few months, but I know that you'll come out on the other side. Watch over those in your life who need more care from you right now, especially the elderly and the children. We tend to believe that the elderly can take care of themselves because they may have lived through much grief in their life. But they can be alone and lonely, and especially if they've endured a new loss. They need your love and attention. And children, we think are so resilient, especially teens. And I don't believe that is necessarily true. They also need your love and attention, and to be reassured that what they are feeling is natural and normal. Many young people have friends who pull away, and it's painful for them. Be there for them. So take the time to love those you love. They need you, and you need them. I wish you a safe, calm, and peaceful holiday season. Much love to you, my friend. So now it's time to get up and dance, dance, dance. Wiggle and move your body even if it is in a sitting position. And I know you still think this is crazy, but please just do it for me anyway, okay? Thank you for listening in today. Remember to write 5 things in your journal each night that you are grateful for. Please subscribe to my podcast wherever you listen to me and share with those who may benefit from it. And if you would kindly support my podcast, you'll find info on my site, marymac.info, to do just that. And as always, remember to be happy because you deserve to. I'll speak with you again soon.